Welcome to Conversations with Saints, the podcast where we seek eternal wisdom from those who have reached their heavenly home. I'm your host, Francis Vale Caritas. Our guest today holds a unique place in the communion of saints. He wrote no theological treatises, founded no religious orders, and lived no long life of heroic virtue. In fact, he lived a life of crime. Yet he was the very first soul to be personally canonized, and by Christ himself. He is the ultimate testament to the infinite mercy of God, the patron saint of the condemned, and a beacon of hope for all who feel they are beyond saving. He is Saint Dismas, the good thief. Saint Dismas, thank you for being here. Your story is perhaps the most powerful testament to hope in all of Scripture.
Thank you for having me. Though I am not used to such titles, I am just a man who was shown a mercy he did not deserve.
Can you take us back to that day on Golgotha? Hanging on a cross, in agony, you were next to another condemned man and Jesus of Nazareth. What was going through your mind?
Pain and anger. My life was over, and I had no one to blame but myself. I had lived by taking, and now my life was being taken. It felt just, but a bitter kind of justice. Beside me, the other fellow, Gestus, he was cursing everyone, the soldiers, the sky, and especially the man in the middle. At first, I think I joined him. It's easier to be angry than to be afraid.
But something changed. While Gestus continued to mock Jesus, you defended him. What did you see in the man on that center cross that turned your heart?
I saw silence. Not weakness, but a strength I'd never known. Kings and governors, they shout and threaten. Soldiers mock. But he was quiet. I heard him speak, but not in his own defense. He said, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do."
Forgiveness for his own executioners.
Who does that? In all my life, I'd only known revenge, an eye for an eye. But here was a man dying the worst death imaginable, and he was pleading for his enemies. I looked at him, really looked at him, and I saw no guilt, only a kind of majesty in the suffering. I knew then that the sign above his head wasn't a joke. He was a king, just not like any king I'd ever known.
And that's when you said to the other thief, "We are receiving the due reward of our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong." That's a moment of profound clarity.
It was the first honest thing I'd said in years, maybe ever. In that moment, I stopped blaming everyone else. My life was my own fault. I deserved that cross. He didn't. And seeing my own guilt next to his perfect innocence, it broke something open in me.
And from that broken place, you made your plea. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. What were you hoping for?
I don't know. A thought? A flicker of a memory? I knew my life was ending. I had nothing to offer this king. No loyalty, no good deeds, nothing. My hands were empty and stained. All I had was that one last moment to ask. It was a dying man's desperate prayer. I just wanted to be a part of a kingdom ruled by a king like that, even if only as a forgotten name in a book.
And his response was more than you could have ever imagined. "Truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." Can you describe that moment?
He turned his head and he looked at me. And in his eyes there was no condemnation, only love. When he said those words, "Today, with me," the pain in my body didn't matter anymore. The nails, the thirst, the shame, it was all drowned in this wave of peace. He didn't say someday. He said today. In my last, worst moment, he gave me everything. He gave me himself.
There are traditions and legends outside of the gospel that tell a bit more of your story. One says that you encountered the Holy Family during their flight into Egypt, that you, as a thief even then, were moved to protect them rather than rob them. Do you recall that meeting? There are traditions and legends outside of the gospel that tell a bit more of your story. One says that you encountered the Holy Family during their flight into Egypt, that you, as a thief even then, were moved to protect them rather than rob them. Do you recall that meeting?
The old stories. There is more truth in them than you might think. I was the man of the roads even from my youth. A life of crime hardens the heart, but it does not always extinguish the soul. When I saw the mother and the child, something stirred in me. There was an innocence about them, a light in the darkness of my world. I saw not a victim, but a mystery. Instead of taking from them, I gave them what little protection I could offer. I did not know who they were. I only knew that they were different. It seems even a thief can recognize true treasure, even if he does not understand its worth at the time.
Saint Dismas, what is your message to the person listening right now who feels they have gone too far? The person who thinks their sins are too great, that God could never want them?
Look at me. I am the proof. I am the saint of last chances, of deathbed conversions. Your life is not over until it is over. It does not matter what is behind you. It only matters that you turn your face to Him now. You don't need a long speech. You don't need to clean yourself up first. Just say, "Remember me." It is enough. His mercy is more powerful than your history. I promise you.
Saint Dismas, thank you. Your testimony is one of the most beautiful gifts in all of Christianity. Thank you for sharing it with us.
He is the gift. I just received it.
It's never too late. The story of Saint Dismas is the story of God's scandalous mercy, a love that waits for us until our very last breath. It's a reminder that no one is beyond the reach of grace, and that the door to paradise can be unlocked with one simple, humble, and heartfelt request. Jesus, remember me. That's all the time we have for this episode of Conversations with Saints. Join us next time when we'll be speaking with the powerful mystic and doctor of the Church, Saint Catherine of Siena. Until then, I'm Frances Vale Caritas. May you seek truth and may you find peace.